And a one.
Wait, I'm not
And
ready
one.
to go. I almost played the wrong thing. Here.
And for my next trick. Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Are You Shitting Me? TMI, the podcast. Wednesday night again. As always, I'm Ron here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And with me is my brother Mike, and he hails from...
Well, I hail from Colorado Springs, but I live in Amarillo, Texas.
You're so
How's
slick.
that one?
You're so slick.
What'd you call me?
Slick. Like a snaky snake.
We are here in Amarillo, Texas.
Amarillo!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 bags full.
How's the weather in Amarillo?
Actually, it's a little cold the last few days.
When you say cold, what is it?
Well, it only got to about 44 today.
Okay. It's a little chilly.
And I will tell you, why is it doing that? I'm trying to get to comments. I guess we can't. Now, here's why I love this time of year for like one day, and today was the day. The first hard freeze of winter. We have these, I think 3 of them at the house, these huge, giant fruitless mulberry trees. And after the first hard freeze of winter, they will drop their canopy overnight. So you go outside the next morning, and like right now, I've got, my yard's covered in those big giant leaves.
Was that picture you posted?
Yeah. That's
okay.
Those are the fruitless mulberries, and that all happens overnight.
Wow.
I mean, the trees will start dropping leaves, but after you get I think last night it got to about 23 here. And so yeah, I got up this morning and I thought, oh, check it out.
So the tree
it always
makes
makes my yard look good because it makes my yard look like it's green in the backyard, which it's not. And so yeah, I love it right now. But Carolyn will tell you, when it comes time to clean all these leaves up, I'm not a fan.
I don't doubt it.
We have devised a routine that allows us to blow them out into the alley.
Nice.
Hey, where they go from there, it's up to them, man.
Right?
We just set them free.
Free
Go,
Willy. Free Willy.
Be free. That's what we do in the front yard. I just wait till about, I don't know, January or so, and then I'll get out there with the blower and just blow them out in the street. Where they go from there, hey, man.
Mother Nature's will.
There you go.
I see we have 4 people peeping on right now, so hopefully get a few more on. And we didn't really have an agenda this evening, but we always have more fun when we just get on here and say dumb shit, which seems to happen quite a bit.
Hang on, little bro.
Oh no, I stand corrected.
I may have a couple for you tonight. The first one is saying some other things from your youth that are gone today, and the reason why I bring that up is last night I posted a picture. Carolyn makes delicious banana bread. And so last night she made 2 loaves of it, and they were on the countertop, and I thought, God, that just smells delicious. So I took pictures of them and posted them. And I wrote on, as I'm posting them, I wrote, go ahead, it's scratch and sniff.
And it was like, what the hell is that?
And I thought about that. I let it go. And then I thought, do people really know what scratch and sniff is?
It's sad, isn't it?
I wonder today, when was the last time you really saw anything scratch and sniff? Because am I wrong? In our youth, the scratch and sniff was kind of the cool thing.
It was the big thing, man. Yeah.
I mean, you get it on, candy or cards or in magazines. You can scratch and smell. I can't remember what it was, but there was something, a candy, and it was a scratch and sniff, and it smelled like bananas. And I was so intrigued with this. I thought, How the hell can they make this thing smell like bananas? So
The schnozberries taste like
they
schnozberries.
taste like snozberries taste like snozberries. Dude, I'm wigging out.
And some won't get that one either. But no, I agree. We are of that decade or that age or that era of there's things that you and I will say, and some of the younger folks just look at you like just straight deer in the headlights, like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
But
do you not know what I'm talking about? No.
after I wrote that and I looked at it, I thought, well, will people know what I'm talking about when I say go ahead and scratch and sniff? It's like, I wonder how many people going, the hell is
Mike,
that?
that's disgusting.
That's gross, dude. Scratch and sniff. Nasty. Nah, when we were kids, scratch and sniff stuff was awesome.
I remember I had the binders that we used in school all the time. And I was going to Sabin Junior High School, and I used to get these covers, and they had like different little patches on it. And yeah, each one had a different one. Was banana, one was raspberry, one was strawberry, bubble gum, whatever. Or we'd get the bubble gum card packs that had, you opened it up, and that was your prize, was a scratch and sniff something or other. So yeah, dude, that was definitely one of the big things.
Think about it. We were huffing. We were getting hooked. It was a gateway thing.
It's a gateway. No, I think that was the weed, Mike. I don't think it was the scratch and sniff.
That's scratch. That smells an awful lot like sensimilla. Okay.
Yeah, so I gotta tell you, talking about weed, it's whatever. It's legalized here in Nevada and Las Vegas. There's so many grow houses and dispensaries here. I was driving down a street, it's called the Pecos, and I had my window rolled down, and Mike, it was like getting slapped in the face, man. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God. So I Google searched it. No, I Google searched it, and there's one of the largest grow houses is right along that strip right there. And I'm like,
wow.
God dang, man, you talk about a contact high.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. My cousin Matt's on here. Bean Boozled is like scratch and sniff, but with a twist.
Bean Boozled?
I never heard of that.
I don't know what that is.
Matt, please do enlighten us, sir.
I think Matt has been driving by your dispensary, which concerns me just a smidge. Bean Boozled, I don't know what that is.
Being as we're on the weed thing, I've been having a problem sleeping, so I went to the dispensary and I told the really high kid behind the counter, I'm like, I need something to help me sleep, and maybe something for body aches and pains. I work construction. I'm my body hurts, and I said I just don't like that high feeling. And he goes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, kind of like that feeling right there.
Yeah.
So he gives me these things. He goes, well, these are THC. He goes, you maybe take half of it, because blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, Mike, I took half of this and I couldn't feel my fucking arms.
Really? What was it?
Oh my God! It was a 10 milligram gummy, and I took half of
most gummies are 10 milligrams if you're getting them from an actual dispensary.
Yeah,
most
half of it knocked me out for like 5 hours.
Yeah. Your first one will probably do that to you. I can share a couple of weirds, not with me, but people I know that have done kind of the same thing. Took like half a gummy and then woke up in the middle of the night, just freaked out and scared shitless. So, it's really kind of funny because you could tell them to you're blue in the face, dude, nothing's going to happen. It's going to be okay. And they're panicked, man. They're like all stiff. No. How am I going to explain this to my wife? Dude, it's okay. You're going to be all right.
My wife is going to kill me for telling this story, but she had a gummy was given to us from Ron Jr., because they're all experienced weed folk. We are not. So Michelle takes it. She's sitting with her arms crossed like this, and I'm telling her, babe, come on, we got to go. She's like, I can't. I'm like, why? She says, my hands are stuck. I'm just like,
That's awesome. That's awesome. I went to. I don't think
my hands are stuck. I can't get.
I don't think Carol and I were married at the time. We might have been. I think I was in school and we had gone to college, and we had gone to a party with Kurt Grow and a bunch of the kids from the college, and there was weed being passed around. And yours truly, I'm not going to pass up free hits. Carolyn was scared shitless. I don't think my wife has ever smoked weed. I don't think she ever has.
Wow.
She's angelic in that way. But getting back to yours, I get it. When my problem is, look, I'm not afraid of it. I just don't want to smoke anymore.
No.
I like the fact that my lungs are 20 something years clean right now. And, but during one of the runs up to the Springs, I stopped in Trinidad because there's a little dispensary there, and I went in and I had no idea what I was doing. And so when I got to the counter, young man came and helped me, and I said, look, my problem is this. I can't turn my head off. My mind is always going. I find it hard to sleep at night. I have tinnitus, something fierce.
Yeah.
Dude was awesome. He put a few things on the counter.
He's a weed sommelier.
And one was, it's called Wana, and it's gummies. It's 10 milligrams of chewables. But then he put these packets. They're just little things. And he says, these are going to be like, we can't call them what they look like and might taste like. We'll just say they're peanut butter cups. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
yes.
I think I bought 2 jars of the Wana and a couple of those peanut butter cup things. And I got to the hotel that night. And I'm going to tell you something. I ate the 2 peanut butter cups and I slept like a giant baby. I woke up the next morning and I thought, I'm good. I'm way good with this. We stocked up, man. I mean, anytime I get to go through that neck of the woods, I generally stock up on that kind of stuff, and I don't mind admitting that. Like it doesn't mean I'm a pothead or anything. I have long understood some of the medicinal values of herb, and right now it's one of the coolest studies I've seen is its effects on people with like Parkinson's. And it's wonderful to see. But no, I've never been afraid of gummies and or peanut butter cups.
No, I take now. Awesome. I take one for sleep. It's a 20-to-1 CBD to THC, so it just kind of mellows you out and kind of shuts your brain off, like you said. And I'm the same way, Mike. I'm high functioning ADHD. I go 100 miles an hour all day long. I sleep in increments. I'll go to bed at 8 o'clock at night. I'm up at 11. I'm up at 2. I'm up at 4. Finally, I'm just like, fuck it. I stay awake. So it helps shut my mind off and helps me sleep throughout the night. So Matt, what do you got here? Matt says they are jelly belly jelly beans, but you spin the wheel and get a color, say green, and you have to pick the color you land on. The twist is, but it can either be good, like green apple, or it might taste like barf, but they look the same. Oh, is this the scratch and sniff thing similarity?
That must be it.
Oh yeah. Have the barf jelly bean.
Gross. What's the worst jelly bean you've ever had, cuz?
Black licorice jelly beans.
Black jelly bean. I think one of the worst ones I've had is I've had a pickle jelly bean.
That sounds fantastic. You kidding me?
I've had a popcorn jelly bean, and neither one of those were very good.
Not sure how I feel about the popcorn one.
Good with the black ones.
Can't do black licorice. Michelle said, it's like he got hit by an elephant dart. He's talking shit, and all of a sudden he is passed out.
Here, why did you take this? And,
here, take one of these. Call me in the morning. Oh, man,
Oh,
smelly sock.
oh
Is that one
God,
of the Jelly
smelly
Bellies? The
socks.
smelly socks. My wife. You gotta love her.
Oh man,
Her thing is, we'll be laying there and she'll go, "Sweetheart, roll over. You're starting to smell."
that's awesome. All right. Well, another one that I had thought about was, of course, we did sayings and other things from your youth. Well, there's one more before I pull up this next one. This, you probably have seen this because it's been making the rounds the last couple of days, but there's great truth in it. And it's a meme, and I have it on my phone. I'd show it to you, but I hate showing things on the camera. I'm so old, my school had a smoking area.
Right?
And I saw that and I thought, holy crap. Doherty did have I wasn't smoking at the time,
Yeah.
but yeah, there was a smoking area just outside. And so when I saw that, I thought that's the truth. I'm so old, my school had a smoking area. Wow. You don't have that today. I mean, do they? I don't think schools have smoking areas today.
Hell,
And if they do, it's not for tobacco.
Yeah.
It could be vaping.
You guys have a
Man,
gummy area?
vaping, gummy.
I don't know,
All right.
man. I never made it out of the 10th grade, Mike, so I couldn't tell you what they had in high school.
Well, I dropped out when I was in the 6th grade. I just left the house every day to make it look good.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I was just trying to impress you, Don, and Mom and Dad, and the other.
I was
kids
impressed.
Other
I was
kids,
way impressed.
All right, are you the person you thought you would be as a kid? Think about this.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
When you were, I mean, I don't know why I thought about this, but in some ways I am, because, and I've shared this story enough times. You know, I knew when I was 12 what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a DJ. I wanted to be in radio. And so everything I did from that point was focused on getting me to that dream.
To this podcast.
But yeah, right. But if you think about it, are you actually the person you thought you'd be as a kid? And the career has been good, but I am not the person I thought I would be as a kid. Because there was something when I was younger that I thought I was going to have long hair all my life. I never envisioned wearing glasses.
No pun intended.
No, Ronnie and even Matt, our family can attest to this. When I was younger, I weighed like 120 pounds.
Yep.
I weighed 160 when I got married. Now I'm ashamed to tell you what I do weigh. So yeah, but again, I'm nearly 63, but I can't put my finger on it. I'm just not the person I thought I would be when I was a kid. What say anybody else?
Well, you know what? Am I the person? Probably not. But I'm also a strong believer in that all the things that we've gone through in life and our trials and tribulations have molded us or made us into what we are today. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I didn't think I'd be doing what I'm doing for a living now in my 50s, Yeah,
I was telling Ron, I am right now living the kind of life I had when I was probably 20 years old and just into the radio business. I'm doing a shitload of remotes, thanks to modern technology. I'm actually doing music intensive radio on the top station in the market, filling in for a guy who's on vacation this week. And at the same time, I'm doing news, and then I'm doing my show every afternoon on our station. And so I told Ronnie as we were backstage, I said, dude, I'm really living La Vida Loca, but I'm feeling it. I wish I was about 25 years younger. I'd be digging this. I get home in the afternoon now and I'm going, ugh,
I need a gummy.
I do need a gummy. My back's killing me.
But let me ask you this, Mike. Let me
Yeah.
pose this question to you. If you weren't doing what you're doing now, what do you think it would be that you'd like to do?
You know what? And I'm this is an honest answer. I think I'd be teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an area I kind of always wanted to get into. There was a brief period where I thought about law, um, but no, teaching has always kind of been in the background for me.
Hmm.
So yeah, if I couldn't do radio, I'd probably be teaching.
Mr. Tim Cato, how you doing, brother? Glad to see you on here this evening.
Now, Tim's a fellow media member, and he's been doing it probably as long as I have. He's worked for this. He's actually worked for the same TV station for as long as my career has gone on.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, I lived out a couple of my dreams. When I was a kid, I think every young man dreams about being a policeman or a fireman, and I did my stint in law enforcement between being on the police officer side and then also on the private sector of it, and it is and it isn't what it's cracked up to be. Especially in today's day and age. I got buddies of mine that are still in law enforcement. They're like, man, don't you miss it? And I'm like, no, because back in the day, we just took you in the back of the building and handled things the old fashioned way. Now everybody's got cameras and video phones. And, you could you imagine if we had that shit when you and I were kids, Mike?
I'm thankful that we didn't.
I think we'd both still be in prison.
I think I'd have to be. We wouldn't be talking here.
No, but that's what I mean. And so
probably have a number across this part of my shirt.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, did I like that part of my life? I mean, I did. Don't get me wrong, but it was quite a thankless experience, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are enjoy it, but I enjoy the luxury of being self-employed, and I think, Mike, you have that kind of same gene in you to some extent, because even our cousin Matt always says, he goes, I don't know how you guys do it. I need to have that Monday through Friday 9 to 5 kind of thing. And my wife is the same way. And I'm just hair on fire, pants on fire. Let's go see what we can burn down today.
And there's nothing, and so far as Matt and Michelle go, and anybody that is like that, I get it. I totally understand being regimented. I totally understand leaving the responsibility up to somebody else. I just need the bennies and the paycheck. I'm way in line with that. I spent too many years making up excuses as to why I shouldn't do this or shouldn't do that. Even with the failure of one of the businesses, I'm already working on the next one.
Of course.
So, it's just, I think that's just the way we're built is.
This day tells me all the time, can you just pick one thing?
Oh yeah.
No.
But some people can't. I've always maintained, even if I were to, strike it rich, would I stop? No, I'd look for the next challenge.
No, absolutely.
Sell one and go play with another one. Because look, I read a book some years ago that's called The Happiness Equation. And in the book, it talks about retirement. It's based on the concept of retirement. And in some countries, they don't even have a word for retirement. Right. We are the only ones that seem to focus on it. And retirement is a concept that was created by the Germans, by Bismarck. And that's because he understood as the workforce ages out, they need to move it out and bring younger workforce back in. So they created retirement. Well, I read this book and it's based on, okay, yeah, if you want to, fine. But once you retire, you're basically now counting down.
Yeah, and pretty much.
I don't want to retire. What I'm looking forward to is getting back to a point where, if Carol and I want to go screw around for 3 or 4 days, we just take off and go screw around for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
doing whatever the hell you want, whenever the hell you want to do it.
I just want to relax and be happy and live life. But I still have to have some sort of viability to keep the furnace burning.
You know, you had mentioned something a little while ago, Mike. I want to touch on about doing things and why you do it and why you don't do it. And like, you and I are comfortable, going out on the limb and doing businesses where others aren't. And I posted this a couple of days ago on my social media. Let me see if I can get that in there or not. It says we either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves strong. The amount of work is the same.
Amount of work is the same thing. So which do you want?
And yeah, and I'm sure you have felt this same way being self-employed during your times, Mike, where there's plenty of times I'm like, man, fuck this. I'm going to get a job.
Please.
I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play anymore. But then I stop and I think, yeah, but then they're going to want me to do stuff.
When you're stroking checks to vendors and to insurances and employees, and you get down to the end of it and you realize, I don't get anything, but I get to own the thing. There have been a few times where I thought, maybe I need to go find a job.
Yeah. It cracks me up. Like some of my employees will be like, "Oh man, I wish I made the kind of money you make." I'm like, well, fuck, I'll trade you.
You want to?
There's weeks you guys make a lot more money than I do.
That can be arranged. Oh yeah. My folks all understood it. They got it. It's like here you go, here you go, here you go. Nothing for poor little Michael J, but that's okay. I have the thrill of ownership and the thrill of paying all the bills. Right. Yes.
Look at me go.
Michael one time, he had somehow gotten a hold of my wallet, right? And he thought it was awesome. And I didn't bother chasing him or anything. I just looked him dead in the eye and said, cool. And you can have everything that comes with it.
Yep.
And he wasn't sure what to think about that one. And I think he quit taking my wallet after that.
Well, I had one of the younger kids that works for me. He's Anthony. He's worked for me for probably about 10 years. And he was one of the ones. He's like, man, I just want to be like you, Ron. And, you're successful and you this and that. I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to make you a deal. I'll make you half owner right now. And it won't even cost you a penny. But you have to cover half of everything. Payroll, taxes, insurance, rents, storage facility, whatever. You have to cover half of that. And he's like, oh, okay. And so I kind of broke it down on what it is. He's like, well, I won't make a lot. I'm like, amen.
Boom. Boom. It shocked my gang on this last one, when I would say, look, because I don't hide anything from anybody. I just said, you know what it takes me to turn the nut on this thing every month?
Yeah.
Roughly about $23,000.
Yeah.
I mean, 23 grand is what I put out. And I'm thinking, there was a time when I hoped to make that in a year. Now I'm stroking checks to, that equal that number. So it always surprises people. But I understand. I completely understand. There's this, this concept and this notion of, wow, he owns the thing, so he must be swimming in dough. Look, dude, I live in a hovel. I drive old cars.
The thing is you have those times where it's feast or famine, and when you feast. But when it's famine, everybody else gets taken care of before you do.
So all right, so
moving on.
I thought I had one more. Let me get back to banners. Well, I think we already did this one. Are you doing what you thought you do when you were younger? Yeah, I am. And I think in many ways it's kind of a blessing that I can actually say that. Sure. Some people, it takes. I know some people that are as old as I am and still trying to figure out what they want to do, and I see nothing wrong with it. There's
well, no. I don't know if you know who Ed Milet is, but he's a real religious, spokesman or what the hell's his name? Anyway, he wrote this book called "The Power of One More." But one of the things that he says is it's never too late to either create or recreate yourself.
Right.
Because there is a huge difference between that. because you can still be Michael J, the radio guy, but you can recreate yourself in that capacity.
Yeah.
Or if you decide to get out of that, you can create something else and be something else. And I try to do that on the reg, tell you the truth.
See, that's where I try to do it with writing. I'm getting ready to start what I think will be my first real book. The first 2 or 3 were just sort of practice to see if there's something I can do. But I think I'm ready to start the first real one. But right in line with what you just said, one of the greatest things that I've heard in the last couple of years is it's never too late to become what you thought you could be.
Amen. I agree.
And it took me, Ronnie knows, I don't mind telling you, I don't fail. I don't like failure. And one business did, and it was a hard lesson to learn. A very expensive lesson, but a hard lesson. And it took me quite some time to come back to that thought process is it's never too late to be what it is you thought you could be. Sure. And so that's what I'm after right now. Right now I'm just trying to, ride this radio thing as long as I can. But I'm anxious to see, where God takes me next. I believe that God is getting ready to reveal something. What, I don't know. All I know is I just stay focused on him, take my steps every day, and at some point he's going to smack me upside the head and go, dude, this is what I've been trying to get you to.
Well, so if he doesn't, I will.
Whether it's writing a book, whether it's I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with woodworking. I think that's just my stress reliever.
Sure.
But and it could be radio, it could be podcasting. It could be, so I just try to keep, my antennas up and, everything receptive to every opportunity. But yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. We're just never too old to, reinvent ourselves. Never.
And Michelle always says something that just hits home all the time. And she says, sometimes you just need to be still. Just be still. Let things that are going to happen, because one of my favorite sayings, and Mike, I remember you and I had the conversation when you were dealing with your most recent trials and tribulations. And I
still am.
And I told you, don't try to steer the river.
Yeah.
It's not your job. I mean, sometimes you just gotta, I hate to say it, but go with the flow and see where it takes you. Because the more you try to control it, it most of the time doesn't work out very well.
Oh yeah.
Well, for those of you that are watching and those of you that'll tune in a little bit later on, we're talking about, are we what we thought we would have been when we were older, from what we thought we'd be when we were younger. And Mike had started us off with, scratch and sniff in terms that some people under the age of, I'd say 40, 30 may not understand what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah. See, that's what I didn't think about it when I wrote it, because I wrote it for people that I, like you. And so after I posted it, I thought, oh, will people really get scratch and sniff? And
does everybody on here that are watching right now, everybody knows what scratch and sniff is, right? Show of hands. Woo!
Anyway,
huge summer
blowout. It's one of those old people things that I thought, I wonder if people will get it, scratch and sniff. What the hell is that dude talking about? Scratch and sniff.
You should take a shower.
That's what I'm thinking. It's not what you think. It scratches, but I don't sniff it.
But no sniffy. No sniffy.
Well,
that being said, we're into about 34 minutes. I am going to go have dinner with my wife and daughter. But as always, Mike, I appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
Hope things are going well there in Armadillo, Texas. And the weather here is not quite as bad as it is there. We were about 34, 35 this morning. And I think we got all the way up to 51 here today.
Yeah, that's not too bad. It's supposed to warm up by the weekend again, 50s, upper 50s. But yeah, yesterday today was 40 something. And then overnight last night, like I said, I think it's 21, 22, 23 degrees. And yeah, all the leaves from the mulberry tree came down, and I just every year that it just makes me laugh until it's time to clean them up. And
well, I'm going to leave you with something our grandfather used to say. It was colder than a witch's tit in a brass bra on Halloween.
Boom, boom.
All right, guys, love you. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
All right, bye.